What is up, everybody? Coach Daniel, Forte Athletics, and today we're talking about becoming a marching athlete. And really, we're just breaking down what it means to be athletic on the field so that you can take it upon yourself to invest your time and energy into developing these 11 attributes so that you can be an absolute rock star on the field. If that sounds good to you, let's continue. Today we'll be breaking down what exactly athleticism is, specifically why it's important to marching, as well as the two subdivisions of athleticism, the health components and the skill components. It's going to be a great time. Let's get into it. First up, what is athleticism? It's a term that we've all heard. We maybe even said it a few times here or there. Athleticism is the combination of qualities that are characteristic of an athlete. So we're thinking things like agility, timing, strength, things that combined will make a great athlete. And if we look at the marching athleticism attributes here, on the left, we have the skill components, things like speed, power, agility, balance, coordination, and timing. These are all very specific to marching. And on the right, we have what are called the health components. We have muscular endurance, cardiovascular endurance, body composition, strength, flexibility. I know I just threw a ton of terms out there, but we're going to break down what each one of these mean, as well as how you can train them. So why is athleticism important to marching? Well, first and foremost, your achievement in performance is directly related to your level of athleticism. If you cannot hang with the demands of marching, you are not going to perform at your best. If you're in survival mode, how can you perform at your best? Especially if you're in the drum line, and like I was, if your drums are wobbling everywhere, it's very hard to play clean. And if you're in the horn line and you're really hanging on for dear life, you're not going to be able to play with the power you need to be a great performer. Now, somebody who has great athleticism on the field is at a decreased risk of injury. And with the insane prevalence of injuries in drum corps and just the marching arts in general, you definitely want to consider working on your athleticism. So, athleticism is also an important component to auditions, and many times can be a determining factor between individuals. When you walk into an audition, your instructors are looking at you to see how well you hang with what you're being given to do. And if we look at these attributes of an individual who probably trains once or twice a week, doesn't really follow a program, just kind of exercises, maybe sweats, but there's no real direction or planning through it. They're going to develop some muscular endurance, they're going to develop some strength. And if we compare this to an individual who is following a training program, even better if it's one specific to marching, they are going to have much better development of these attributes. Now, if you're in an audition setting or even a callback setting, if we look at person A and person B, these attributes are going to be crystal clear to the people who are judging you and instructing you. And if both people possess the same musical ability, who do you think they're going to take? I'd even argue that somebody with slightly less musical talent, but a stronger physique and more athleticism is going to outperform the person with better musical abilities but poorer physical abilities. That's just the name of the game. That's how it goes. Now, if we break down athleticism, there are two branches to it. We have the health components, which refers to you being a healthy human being, and we have the skill components, which is very particular to marching. Just because you're a healthy human being does not mean you are good at marching. And just because you develop the necessary skills to march does not necessarily mean you are a healthy human being. If you want to be great, we need to develop both of these. Now, first up in the health components is cardiovascular endurance, which refers to the efficiency of oxygen delivery during exercise. If you've ever felt winded from exercising or marching, that is you experiencing your cardiovascular system working real hard to get fresh oxygen into your body. And if you improve your cardiovascular endurance, it is going to allow you to sustain high-intensity exercise for longer periods of time. You will also feel less fatigued while you're marching, and you're going to recover quicker. So when they say walk it back to the top, or even jog it back to the top, reset, you're going to be like, all right, no problem, let's do it. Compared to somebody with poor cardiovascular endurance who's going to be huffing and puffing their way back to the top. So the way you would train this is to do activities that elevate your heart rate. I am a huge advocate of jumping rope. That is one of the greatest ways for a musician and a marching performer to work on their cardiovascular endurance. You could also run, bike, swim, dance. And the next health component is muscular endurance, which refers to your muscles' ability to produce force repeatedly or for an extended period of time. Marching is an endurance-based activity, and if you think about how many times your ankle muscles need to contract to take all of the steps you're taking, that is an example of muscular endurance. It is a repetitive activity. So if you don't ever train that and then you get thrown into a setting where you're marching, your muscles are going to be like, ah! Then you walk away with pain. Maybe you get injured, hopefully not. So if you work on your muscular endurance, it's going to allow you to produce force for a longer period of time, which thereby reduces your fatigue and reduces your risk of injury. Sounds great, right? So how do we train this? We've got to train our calves, we've got to train our tibialis anterior, your hips, your core. You can do this by exercising in high rep ranges, say like the 20 to 30 rep range. You can also do it by jumping rope. You can also train it by just performing activities that require you to work for extended periods of time. And the next health component is muscular strength. Yes, muscular strength refers to your muscles' ability to exert force onto an object. You know, when you're holding your equipment, whether you're in the drum line, the horn line, or you're pushing the front ensemble equipment, or your color guard, throwing things in the air, being able to manage your equipment, pushing props, this all takes strength. Being able to hold yourself up against gravity takes strength. So the way you work on that is by exercising. You could do some type of resistance training. It's a great way to do it, working with dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, Taco Bells. No, really, please don't eat that before rehearsal. You know, I used to eat Taco Bell during drum corps, and let's just say I didn't perform at my best. So next up on the health components is flexibility, which refers to your muscles' ability to move through their full range of motion. If you have flexible muscles, it's going to improve your posture, which is going to allow you to perform better. It's going to give your joints more mobility, being able to move your joints through their full range of motion, pain-free, which thereby reduces your risk of injury. So if you want to train for flexibility, you can perform mobility exercises. You can do some static stretching at the end of the day, at the end of a workout. But if you don't train it, you won't have it. So don't expect to just work out like a beast all day and be flexible after that. You gotta find a way to weave it into what you're doing. And the last of the health components is body composition, which is your body's ratio of lean muscle to stored fat. And in this activity, in this very endurance-based activity, it is so common for performers to lose muscle mass throughout the season, especially in drum corps. So if you show up to the beginning of the season and you don't have much muscle mass to lose, you're gonna look like skin and bones. You're probably not gonna feel healthy. You might be lean, but you won't feel strong. And on that same token, if you have excess body fat stored on you, it is going to put more stress on your joints and is going to make marching much more difficult for you. But I do believe that if you show up to spring training and you have a little bit of body fat on you, but you also have muscle beneath that, you will be totally fine. Now, body fat is not bad, but we just need to manage how much we're storing on our body. And the way we modify this is through diet, exercise, and also just accepting that our genetics come into play. You may have this idea of what you want your body to look like, but if you're comparing that to somebody else's body, there's a chance you are not going to look like that ever, and you will just constantly stare into the mirror wondering why you don't look like them, and that is because you will never look like them. You will only look like you, and you are amazing. You are beautiful as you are, and as soon as you can see that, I think you're going to be much more happier with your physical appearance. So those are the 5 health components of marching, and all of these are great attributes to develop. However, if you only spend your time focusing on developing these attributes, it's not going to make you a better marcher, because you need to train some marching skills, and that is what's coming up next. By the way, have you hit the like button yet? Come on. It's a very subtle way to say thank you for the time and energy that goes into producing these videos, so if you could, I would greatly appreciate it. Go ahead, tap it. Thank you so much. Now, the first of the 6 skill components is speed. Speed. When do we use speed when we're marching? Speed refers to the ability to perform actions or cover distance quickly. So when we're marching and you hear that metronome coming in at beep, 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 whatever. What tempo is that? That's like 240. That's quick. That is an example of needing speed, being able to keep your feet in time with that tempo. And if your speed is not developed, you will find that you have a lot of difficulty keeping your feet in time with those faster tempos. So the way we train speed is through interval training. You don't just go run and march as fast as you can for as long as you can. You do short bursts of high intensity followed by short periods of rest, which is called interval training. And there are many different types of intervals you could use: 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. So there's no right or wrong answer. You just got to experiment to see what feels best to you. And the next skill component is power. Power. And look at this minion tossing that flag. Is that not an amazing photo or what? So power is your ability to combine both speed and force in your movements. Now, when we're marching, we need power on our step-offs. You need that speed and force to get your body to move and cover distance in time with the beat. Because if you don't have that speed and that velocity, your feet are going to be slow and you're going to get called out from the box. And you ain't going to like that. Trust. Power is also used in body movements, especially with all the sharp hits that are going on these days. It's dope, but if you don't have the power, then you're going to look slow. And you get called out from the box again. The way you develop power is by working on explosive exercises like jumping, bounding, or if you're doing an upper body exercise, just moving with speed. That's going to give you the power that you're looking for. The next skill component is agility, which is your ability to change directions without slowing down or losing power. So when you're marching, if you have great agility, you will be able to perform your direction changes no problem. If you haven't developed this attribute yet, your feet are going to be slow on the direction changes, and that is one of the most common mistakes that occurs in marching band, or drum corps for that matter. And if your feet are slow, your music is slow. And you're going to get called out from the box again. Come on, get it together. You can train agility by performing marching drills, which is pretty much what VisBlock aims to do. But if you can't do VisBlock at home, you can get yourself an agility ladder and work on some agility drills, or just practice running side to side. Side shuffles, that's a great one. Personally, I would go with the agility ladder. Moving on, the next skill component is balance. Balance is your ability to stabilize your body. If you think about your foot, ankle, knee, hip, spine, shoulders, head, you got a lot of joints you're trying to balance. Because if you don't, then you're going to fall. So there's 2 types of balance to train. The first is static balance, which is without movement. Say you're balancing on one leg, like this lovely photo here. The other is dynamic balance, where you're moving and needing to balance and stabilize. Like if you're on one leg and you reach forward to touch the floor and then come back up, that is an example of dynamic balance, which is generally a little bit more challenging than static balance. In order to have great balance, it's particularly important to train your ankle stabilizers, your hip stabilizers, and your spine stabilizers, which is your core. And if you have that stability through your body, generally your musical performance will be much better than somebody who does not have that stability in them, which generally looks like wobbly drums or hearing the sound in the horn. And then you get called out from the box. Again. Get it together. Now, to be clear, there's nothing wrong with getting called out from the box. I've been called out from the box many times. It's just embarrassing because now everybody knows you made a mistake. Which is not bad, because you know what? They probably made a mistake too. They just didn't get caught. Anyways, moving on. The next skill component is coordination. My personal favorite. Coordination is the ability to use your senses in combination with your music. It's when you start to combine what you see, what you hear, and what you feel into your movements. So when you're marching, your ability to read the field and see the line, see the spacing is going to determine how big your steps are and which direction you're going. Your ability to feel the beat is going to determine when you play your music. And your ability to hear what's going on is going to determine how you play your music. Being able to play your music while marching is a great example of coordination because your legs are managing space on the field and your upper body is playing this technical masterpiece. You put those two things together, that takes time, practice, and skill. And the way you improve your coordination is with practice. And when you practice, that develops a part of your brain called the cerebellum, which is that little yellow cauliflower looking thing in this image. The cerebellum is your home of coordination, and if you exercise in a way that promotes coordination, your cerebellum will get stronger. And one of the greatest ways to do that is with jumping rope. That is going to work all of your senses, what you see, what you feel, what you hear, your timing. If you're ready to get started on your jump rope journey and join the Cool Kids Club, you can order your rope at forteathletics.net. Use the code YouTube10 to save yourself 10%. These are the ropes that are going to get you marching like a boss. Now, moving on. The last of the skill components is reaction time, which you can also train with jumping rope, just saying. Reaction time is your ability to respond quickly to what you feel, see, or hear. So an example would be keeping your feet in time with the beat. You hear the beat, boom, you lock it in. Or making adjustments while you're marching or you're playing. You're using your eyes, peripheral vision. You can see you're out of the form. Are you going to stay out of the form or are you going to fix it so you don't get called out from the box? I know you. You're going to fix it because you see it. So being able to make adjustments in a timely manner is an example of reaction time. The way you train this is by doing exercises to a beat or jumping rope. What you waiting for? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. Now, if that all sounds amazing to you and you're like, wow, I want to work on all of those things, I invite you to join the Shred Squad. The Shred Squad is a private fitness community hosted by Forte Athletics specifically for drum corps candidates of the 2023 season. So if you are going to be a returning member or you plan to audition for the first time, this is the perfect opportunity for you. The Shred Squad will get monthly workouts designed by myself and our coaching team to ensure that you are effectively training all components of athleticism, and so that when you show up to the gym, you know exactly what to work on. That's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of confusion. Our members can also submit videos of themselves doing the exercises so that our coaching staff can critically assess your movement to make sure you're doing the exercise correctly, safely, and in a manner that maximizes your results. The Shred Squad also gets bi-weekly check-ins from our coaching team to help you stay accountable because success is much easier when there's somebody holding you accountable. We're also going to check in, see how you're doing. If we need to modify your plan at all, we can do that. And if you just need some encouragement, we are here to support you every step of the way. The Shred Squad also has our own private forum so that you can ask questions, get answers, help each other out, make new friends in the community, and learn how you can achieve long-term success on your fitness journey. If the Shred Squad sounds perfect for you, please fill out the interest form linked up in the description below. I must say that acceptance is limited based on who we believe to be good candidates for this program. I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste my time, but if you're down, I would love to have you with us. But you gotta act now, like right now, as soon as this video is done, because enrollment is closing on August 31st. So if you wait too long, Tough luck, you're out. So do it now. And if you are accepted, you will be notified between August 31st and September 3rd. And on that note, I thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. What you waiting for? And I will see you next time. Take care, fam. Ready, and